Hi, I'm making the second video from the cycle of genetics in medicine. Today I would like to touch upon the topic of genetic intervention in human and bioethics. This question is one of the most controversial in the scientific community, as some consider genetic engineering to be the science of the future, capable of defeating all disease and bringing people to a completely new level, while others predict complete social stratification at the biological tier. The seizure of genetic engineering technology by corporations and the violation of individuality and inviolability of a human principle. The starting point for this was a precedent of He Jiankui. He helped create two girls immune to HIV infection. The Sovereign University of Science and Technology, where he worked, immediately refused his research. In 2018, an investigation was opened into his case. Despite the fact that children's immunity to HIV has not yet been confirmed, the He case has caused a wide resonance in scientific. The benefits of genetic interventions, in my opinion, outweigh the risks. As I said before in the last video, humanity has two ways to reduce and possibly completely uh, eliminate hereditary disease. The first way is to stop providing medical care for such patients. But society will not accept this kind of eugenics under any pretext. No one wants to see their children, parents, loved ones die without medical care. Another more humane way is genetic engineering. Even now, under the yoke of human rights conventions, under the scrutiny of biological commissions, this science is developing and making relative progress. But if you imagine that people wielding CRISPR and embryos will be taken off the leash, how far can this go? The first thing what comes to mind is a cure for all disease associated with hereditary information and when all disease in general. Here we are faced with another evil, pharmaceutical corporation. If a violation related to type 2 diabetes were corrected, Novo Nordisk would not have received its $60.5 billion in 2020. And what's just insulin? Therefore, if disputes arise somewhere about the ethics and expediency of genetic engineering, it is worth considering who is behind it. However, in addition to curing disease and improving the lives of million people, there are many other tasks successfully solved by genetic engineering. Space travel, people less prone to muscular atrophy or more resistant to lack of provisions, defense industry, legendary super soldiers, information technology. I will not go into details since I take away work from futurologistics. I will only say what the direction of genetic engineering are limitless and influential, since way chance are very structure of a person. What genetics has to offer is a new level of specialization, much deeper with gender, race, education, and personal equalities. But the coin can also fall on the other side. Corporations would always act only for the sake of profit. We don't care what orientation you are, how much you are being violated, and how long your ancestors were in slavery. If you make a profit, we are on your side. Give such corporations the ability to influence not the minds and hearts, but the DNA, the very essence of a person's living being. And what will you get? There have been many cases in the history of mankind when companies themselves were behind disasters and economic crises. No one, really no one, is able to prevent them from creating a disease what is treated only by their genetic modification. No one is able to stop corporations from making AIDS medicine by subscription. Hardly anyone wants to pay $100 a month just to live. This is one of the biggest risks associated with genetic engineering. We can also replace companies in the equation with the state. and everything will turn out much worse. Since the state has a monopoly on violence and all the accompanying regulations. Another problem is the control of genetic intervention. They are necessary. Everyone is equal before God. But seriously, changing the genetic code is an important, responsible procedure that requires many conditions. Negligent attitude to the procedure, failure to comply with the terms of a contract can lead to death or the appearance of more dangerous disease. Also, the customers' query can affect the social life, well-being and health of other people. An absurd but illustrative example is man who wanted to sweet poison. Whatever a medical agency should meet its condition is obviously not, but you can do anything for a lot of money. What is why the control of genetic manipulation should be carried out? My attitude to genetic engineering is positive. I believe that this is a discovery similar to the creation of fire or agriculture. There are millions of people on the planet who are unable to meet their basic needs due to severe disease. This is the untapped potential of millions of brains and hands. Genetic engineering is able to return these people to the bottom of the economy, solving the demographic crisis for the first time and pouring billions into financial turnover. Pharmaceutical companies that have survived the cure of all disease will have to move on to creative action, scientific research, the development of new ways to improve human life. But everything has its risks, resonance or not so. No wonder when creating an atomic bomb, scientists were afraid that this would lead to a chain reaction capable of destroying the planet. In the case of genetic engineering, in the worst case scenario, we can forever lose ourselves as people, become slaves of our own bodies, plugging into a biobank. It all depends on us. Will we let the predatory paws of corporations grab another tidbit of the market, or we will win back our full biological freedom? Thanks for attention.